the nature of each individual candlestick signal allow the candlestick investor to anticipate what type of price pattern or what trend direction will occur based upon what happens after a signal. For example, notice that the Dow formed a doji today on the T-line. This makes it very simple using the doji rule. The price will usually move in the direction how they open after a doji. So if we wake up tomorrow and see the pre-market futures are trading positive, we know immediately that they supported on the T-line with a high degree of probability that the markets are heading back up, which means any scanning of bullish trades this evening allow you to start entering those trades with much more aggressiveness and not having to wait for further confirmation. The additional confirmation comes from the Nasdaq, where it did a bullish harami. This is actually called a homing pigeon when it does a harami, but the color of the body is the same color as the previous candle. What it requires is a bullish confirmation, which we saw today in the Nasdaq. This also indicates that the T-line is probably acting as support and also indicating that this trend channel is still in progress. This also allows for identifying how the pre-market futures are showing the Nasdaq opening tomorrow, that if it's opening positive, we can pretty much conclude that the bulls are still in control, the uptrend remains in progress. Identifying the strong signals and patterns was easy as far as our recommendation on VIPS today, because you could see the J-hook pattern that pulled right back to the 50-day moving average, came back up doing a morning star signal, telling us that if they started trading positive, we could be buying immediately on a positive open. It also is confirming this big fry pan bottom, that this tells us that if this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 of this J-hook pattern is also going to be confirming the fry pan bottom, adding that much more evidence that the uptrend is going in the right direction. It also makes us analyze what the overall trend is doing based upon a bearish signal right here at the 50-day moving average. Had this continued to trade weaker, we would be assuming that the 50-day moving average was still acting as a resistance and that this downtrend was still in progress. However, seeing that we did a doji and a doji right smack dab on the T-line with bullish confirmation today, this becomes a high probability trade setup that all they did was consolidate. This is what we call the bobble, and we're ready for a bobble breakout, meaning if they start trading positive, confirming this signal right here, it's telling us wave 3 is now in progress with a high degree of probability. The other major benefit you have with candlestick analysis is if we start buying on positive trading with the expectation we're starting wave 3, we also know that if this is performing because it broke out through the 50, that if it closed back below the 50, we close out the trade. It didn't form the pattern. Candlestick analysis is the identification of what's confirming a reversal, and if that reversal starts out but then doesn't confirm by the end of the day, that's where you close out losing trades very quickly at small losses and then move on to another trade that has a high degree of probability of moving in the right direction. And you apply the information built into candlestick signals with the T-line. Note what hasn't been able to occur in our recommendation early on ATNX. It's never been able to close below the T-line. It's opened below the T-line but closed back up above it. This simply reveals that the probabilities of the uptrend being maintained is still in progress because it can't close below the T-line. This is not rocket science. This is just simple logic utilizing what the information the Japanese rice traders have provided based upon the signals and the confirming indicators that allow us to stay in a position when other people might be getting a little bit squeamish and coming out just because they might have a profit. That'll be it. We'll see you in the chat rooms.